Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Roadrunners Coaches Corner, the show that gets you caught up on all of MSU Denver sports. We're here live from the Tivoli Tap House, as we usually are every Monday from 5:30 to 6 p.m., so come out and join us and watch the show live anytime. I'm Stephen Priest, back from vacation, recharged and ready to get things going in this new year. Joining me today is Celeste Zubia. Huge shout out to Celeste, Juan Ariano, and Sean Tafoya for holding things down for me while I was gone. Celeste, what do we have for today's show?
Well, we will get an update for our men's basketball team as they are in a dogfight for the RMAC playoffs. We will have head coach Derrick Clark on the show, and we will start to kick off baseball season as the season starts in just 2 weeks. We will have head coach Jerrid Oates as well as senior shortstop Jake Thurstron.
Sounds like a great show, but before we get to all that, let's recap the past weekend of MSU Denver sports. And after a tough 2-point loss to Colorado Mesa in Grand Junction on Friday, the men's basketball team got back on the winning track after a 15-point win over Western State the following night. Senior center Andre Harris had his best game of the season, scoring a season-high 22 points while pulling down 15 boards. He also added 6 blocks, helping the Roadrunners to improve to 12-7 on the season and 8-5 in the RMAC conference.
The women's team also dropped their Friday matchup against Colorado Mesa, but rallied from a 12-point halftime deficit to defeat Western State in Gunnison. Junior forward Georgia Ordorf helped carry the red and blue back into the game by scoring 11 of her 21 points in the third quarter. Head coach Tanya Have's squad is now 11-9 on the season and 7-6 in RMAC.
And finally, our indoor track and field team competed at the Colorado School of Mines Twilight Invitational in Golden. Sarah Hughes had the best showing, finishing second in the women's triple jump. Erica Ruiz raced to 5th place, finishing in the mile, while Robert Carlson continues his great start to the season by earning 3rd place in the men's triple jump. And Brandon Krogge completed the mile in a time of 4 minutes and 29 seconds to place 4th. Visit roadrunnersathletics.com for more results from the meet. So now we'll bring in head coach of your men's basketball team, head coach Derrick Clark. As always, Coach, we appreciate you coming on and hopping on with us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well. Now let's get into this road trip you had this past weekend. You continued it, this time to Western Slope of Colorado. You first took on Colorado Mesa in Grand Junction, defeated Mesa back in December on your home floor. This was a much lower scoring affair, though, than the first one. Give us some of your thoughts on the game.
Well, you know, it was nip and tuck the whole way. It was tight. You know, we had a run, they had a run. No one could get separation on that. It was, you know, baskets were hard to come by on both sides of the ball. You know, we had a 3-point lead late in the game, and with about a minute left, and we needed to make a play or two to win that game. And, you know, we had an opportunity, for example, to get a big rebound when we were up 3, and just couldn't quite get to it. And, you know, when you're playing on the road and, you know, you let home team make plays to stay in the game, you know, it's up in the air, you know, on what the result is. I think our guys played hard enough on the deal. We had a hard time scoring in that game for whatever reason.
So you kind of touched on the ending of the game, and you know it went down to the wire. You guys had 3 straight 3-pointers to be up by 3 within the last minute and a half. What was going on, you know, in your mind the last few minutes of the game?
Well, you know, in those situations, the game goes real fast. When, you know, when there's not a lot of time left in the game, we had some timeouts where we tried to organize and be really clear about what we wanted to do. You know, again, we had one opportunity to get a big rebound when we were up 3, and we just come up with the ball. But we still had a 1-point lead, with, you know, with 40-some-odd seconds and the ball, and we quick shot it a little too quick, you know, and gave them an opportunity. At the end of the day, it boils down to this. A kid that was 0 for 6 in that game from the 3 made a big 3 for them. Give him credit for that. And we still had an opportunity to get a shot off. We got a good look at a 3 at the end, and it didn't go. But in games like that, sometimes it comes down to 1 or 2 plays.
Now, Coach, after Sunday missed the 3-point shot, Andre was able to get a putback from the offensive rebound. The officials said it was after the whistle, though. What did you see on that play? Yeah,
I thought it was real close, but it was, when we saw it on the video board, it was after. I mean, it's a game of inches and seconds sometimes, you know. But we did what we were trained to do. When that shot goes up, everybody knows to go to the glass, you know. And I'll tell you what, we didn't deliver with a win in that situation, but moving forward, you're going to learn in those situations. And sometimes the best medicine is having to go through that, you know, and coming up a little bit short. Because I guarantee you we'll be in a tight game again. So we'll use that experience to our benefit.
So switching gears to the next night, you guys took on Western State, and they had some incredible shots in the first half. I believe they had like 6 3-pointers. What were you like going into the halftime? Did you guys think that you guys were able to put off the 43 points in the second half?
Yeah, we on those short turnarounds, you do the best you can on preparation. I'm one that doesn't, on a Saturday game, I never look at that team until after we play the Friday game. Our assistant's job is to put the scout together, and so we had a quick turnaround. We knew that they shot the ball very well. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the RMAC. They're shooting them close to 40%, and they shoot them from a lot of different spots. Their threes came in a hurry, like in the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then we settled down and we started defending a lot better. They sprung a zone on us, which people have been doing, and had a hard time in the beginning. But then we start figuring it out. When we closed the gap to 1 and we scored just before the half, I said, okay, now we're in pretty good shape.
Coach, I mentioned Andre Harris a few moments ago.
Yeah.
He came up huge for you in this game, 22 point, 15 rebounds, 6 block night. Also, he didn't foul out of the game, so that's always huge.
Yeah.
Talk about how did his play factor huge into that victory?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. When he's on the floor for extended minutes, he's proven to be very effective. I was very proud of the way he played. He took his time down in the post, and he was a handful, and we were really deliberate on trying to put the ball into the post. And when he wasn't getting a basket, he was making a defensive play. He covered the basket very well, and when you get beat out on the perimeter, sometimes your last line is your 5-man, which is Dre, and I mean, he has 6 blocks, and those were blocks at the rim where he was saving baskets. Those are invaluable. But I really was proud of the way he competed and played, and we've been talking about this whole year, specifically the last few weeks. When you do something positive, try and build on that, that positive act and continue those. So maybe this game that Dre had against Western will propel him, to play better. He's been playing, and he knew that he wasn't playing great. But I tell you what, you're only as good as your last game, and I was really proud of the way he competed and played.
And Brian Howard had an amazing weekend. He now has 3 games with scoring 20-plus points. What has been the key to his success as of late?
Shooting the basketball. He's a terrific three-point shooter, and I'm the kind of guy that when I know you can really shoot the basketball, when you don't shoot the shots that when you turn down shots and you're a three-point shooter, I get angry about that when a guy doesn't shoot the basketball, which sounds funny, but you look at his attempts the last 3 games. He had 11 against New Mexico High. His attempts, made 5, and then he was 6 for 8. And Brian's a guy that has the ultimate green light from my perspective. He's the one guy in our group that he can shoot a 3 anytime, because I believe in him that much as a shooter. And he had a slow start, but he's a 40% plus three-point shooter, and the percentages are catching up. And it's the hard work he does behind the scenes. He really grinds and does extra work, So sometimes you don't get the benefit of your reps, but eventually I told him they'll show up, but you got to shoot the ball, and that's really helped our team, the way he's shooting the basketball.
Now, Coach, you have a quick turnaround coming up for the squad. On Tuesday, you guys will take on UCCS. That's 3 games in 5 nights. How do you, as a coach, try and prepare your squad for something like that?
Well, you just try and do the best you can with a game plan, and luckily we played them. Their system doesn't change a whole lot, so we're really comfortable with the game plan. But the first thing I tell our guys is they've also played 3 games in 5 days, so you got to get that out, because you start to fatigue when you think about that. You just got to be excited about playing the game, and if I was a player playing 3 games in 5 days, that's less practice, more games, so I'm sure our players are excited about that. We're just ready to go down there and play and see if we can string 2 road wins together. I'm the kind of guy that thinks that there's a big, long win streak around the corner, so we got 9 games to put that win streak together.
And last one for you, Coach. First meeting with the Mountain Lions this year. Just talk about how you feel about going up against them.
They're a transition team. They're very good when you miss a shot. They really push the basketball. So we have to be really good at stopping their penetration before they get across half court. And then the other thing is, I think that we can have a big day on the rebounding. They're not really big, but their point guard is really good. So we're going to have to do a job. So it's a game within a game. Our point guards have to do a good job on their point guard. But, they play well at home. So it's going to be another challenge for us.
course.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck against UCCS tomorrow night. And always, if you can't make it out to the game, be sure to catch it on Portal Stretch Internet. Thanks so much, Coach, for taking out the time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
I appreciate what you do.
And coming up next, we'll be joined by Coach Oates on the Roadrunners Coach's Corner. You don't want to miss that.
Dobinson stops on a dime, now to Cortez. The Cortez beating, count the bucket, and foul.
If you can't get enough of MSU Denver sports, then you need to tune in to the Roadrunner Review. Get into the game with exclusive highlights, interviews, player stories, and of course the top plays that will have you jumping out of your seat. You can catch all the action on Comcast CET and at RoadrunnersAthletics.com.
Hey, nice shot! Great spot!
I'm Joe Rice. I'm the Director of Government Relations for Lockheed Martin Space Systems. I transferred into MSU Denver while I was in the Colorado National Guard and after I completed my associate's degree. This was the only university where somebody actually sat down with me and helped me plan out my academic path to finish my degree and graduate on time. Reach for the stars, come to MSU Denver, launch your career.
Brought to you by your #1 volume Nissan dealer, Tynan's Nissan. Come in today and choose from nearly 1,200 new Nissans. Get 0% for 72 months with no payments for 90 days. During the Bottom Line event, lease the new Altima for only $149 per month. Gives you both efficiency and performance. Looking for an SUV? Then choose the all-wheel drive Rogue at just $159 per month. Also available with optional third row seat. Bottom Line savings at Tynan's Nissan in Aurora and Fort Collins.
I'm Raquel Torres, senior guard for the women's basketball team.
Runners, and there's Torres, three-point shot up and
Oh, there it goes.
Raquel Torres, the trifecta.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Andre Harris, senior center for the Roadrunners men's basketball team.
And here's Andre Harris with the jam, bobbing and weaving through traffic.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back to the Roadrunners Coach's Corner. Real quickly, we want to remind all of you about the She's My Cherry Pie Beer and Cheese pairing taking place on January 28th. It will take place right here at the Tivoli Tap House from 4 to 6 p.m. Tickets through TivoliBrewingCo.com are only $25, and everyone gets exclusive tastings for 3 versions of their She's My Cherry Pie beer with unique cheese pairings, trivia, swag giveaways, and even tours of the Tap House. So come on down to the Auraria campus inside the Tivoli building for this exciting event. So now we'll welcome head coach of your men's baseball team, Coach Jerrid Oates. Coach, thanks for being with us tonight. How excited are you for this upcoming season?
Yeah, we're excited. We've had great weather early on, so we've been outside a ton. We've gotten a bunch of scrimmages in, so that kind of fuels that fire, you know, because you start going through the process and you're like, man, we're getting a bunch of at-bats, so now let's go play somebody. And so we're excited. The guys are chomping at the bit. We've been going at it since August, so there comes a point where you want to play somebody else besides yourself. So
Right. Well, I was going to say, you know, we know you started practice this past week, but we also know you work out during the fall as well. How does that shift from fall to spring in terms of practice and stuff like that?
You know, it's very similar. During our fall ball, our spring practices are very similar. What I love about being a spring sport is you can get young guys ready to play. You know, if you're a fall sport, those freshmen show up, transfers, whatever. They've got, 2 weeks and then you're playing games, where we get an entire semester. So we've got young guys that have gotten innings, that have gotten at bats, and they're going to be able to help us just through the development of not just the practice side of it, but a lot of times it's the weight room and the strength and those things.
So last season you guys finished 6th in the RMAC, barely missing the playoffs. What are some things you guys are going to have to do this season to make the RMAC playoffs?
You know, it's number one, we got to stay healthy. That bit us a little bit last year. And then just being consistent on the pitching side of it. We're going to be a little new on the mound this year. And then, we take a lot of pride in our defense. And if we feel like, if we play defense, we always have a chance. And then just doing the small things on the offensive side, that's really the key to it. Just executing the bunts, the hit and runs, moving runners over when we need to, having quality at bats all the way through games.
Now, we have senior shortstop Jake Thurstron with us later on in the show. What kind of things do you expect from him this season, and what should the audience know about Jake?
They should know that he's a great kid. He's a big-time competitor. and a really good leader for our program. Defensively, he's one of the best in our conference. Him and Mesa's guy are kind of the top two shortstops on the defensive side of it. And, the way he plays the game day in, day out, the way he practices, he shows up every day, kind of a blue-collar kid. He's going to work every day. He's going to get his reps in. He's going to, do everything that he needs to do to get better each day.
So you had previously talked about pitching, and we all know how Julian Garcia is now drafted with the Phillies. So who do you look to now for the mound, and are there any new names we should know, or what's new, I guess, for the mound?
Yeah, we're going to be really new on the mound. Javi Vega is kind of the one guy that's coming back that threw a bunch of innings for us last year until he got injured. Jerrid Oates started out in our rotation last year, then ran into an injury, so he'll be back. And then after that, it's going to be we're not 100% sure yet. We've got scrimmages this weekend, and then we'll kind of be able to set our rotation. But, we've got Beecher Zubia, a junior college transfer, 6'8" left-hander. He's gonna be in that mix. Derrick Stimson came back from injury last year. He's definitely going to be in that mix as we move forward. He got a few innings at the end of last year as he was rehabbing and coming back, but he's healthy and ready to go. And then Jerome Bohannon, freshman, he's had a really good spring. Cade Crater, another freshman, he's had a really good spring for us on the mound. And then some guys like Hunter Hogaboom and some freshman sophomores that threw for us last year out of the bullpen. They're definitely going to be in the mix for us. So it's really up in the air. It's going to be new for us. A lot of new names up there on the mound.
But change is good. So
yeah, it is.
that all works out.
Yes.
Now, Coach, switching gears to the offensive side, you guys were one of the top home run hitting squads in the conference last season. First, do you expect that trend to continue this season, and how does that help with guys like Trent Maloney and Cale O'Donnell coming back?
Yeah, it's awesome having those guys back. We don't put a lot of emphasis on the home runs. We just want to put barrel on baseball, hit doubles, and if the ball leaves the yard, it leaves the yard. But there's definitely some pop in our lineup with those two guys that you mentioned, and then Hunter Donaldson and Marcus Bean, Nick McCaskey, all those guys. They definitely have some pop in their bats. So then Sean Kennedy and Donnie Ortiz, both of them are transfers for us, and they're going to be able to add to that too. So for us, it's more about just hitting line drives and ground balls and moving guys up when we need to, and then if it goes over the fence, then we'll take that too.
So have you been kind of looking at the Farmer's Almanac to see what kind of weather we'll be getting this season? I know it's Colorado, so you never know what weather you'll be getting.
Yeah, that's like part of my morning routine now that we're in season. Wake up, look at the weather, see how it's changed, as it always changes as we go through. Each day it seems like it's something new. But yeah, I think we're supposed to get a bunch of snow come April and that. So that'll be exciting. But having the turf field helps a ton. Even with the snow that we got last week, we were inside for one day. The next day we got a section of the field cleared where we could play catch and hit in our cages, and then we're totally outside the day after that. So that's a big plus, having that facility. And once that snow's gone, we can get back out there. We don't have to wait for dirt to dry or anything like that.
Coach, last one for you. How much pride do you take in your defense? Your squad was the second best in the conference in terms of errors made. Talk about the emphasis you guys put on the defensive end.
Yeah, our guys take a ton of pride in defense. That's kind of what they hang their hat on, and they've done a great job the last couple of years. We've been in the top 2 to 3 each year in the RMAC the last few years, and it's been awesome watching them grow into it, because a lot of times when you think of baseball, you think of hitting home runs and striking people out, and sometimes the defensive side of it is kind of forgotten, and our guys put a ton of pride in it. They work at it every day, and it really helps. I mean, it helps with the pitching, it helps with even the hitting side of it, because it gets you back up to the plate if you play good defense. So it's kind of the backbone to who we are and what we want to be.
Now, Coach, before you came on, you said you wanted to give a shout-out, so now's the time.
Yeah, my mom's watching at home, so hi, Mom.
Well, Coach, we're excited for the new baseball season to get underway. First games will be here at home on the weekend of February 3rd for a 4-game series against Nebraska Kearney. So best of luck in that, and practice as well, and thanks for taking out the time today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, that'll do it for Coach, but up next, we're going to keep it with baseball as we'll talk with senior Jake Thurstron.
celebration is on for Mike Dunlap.
The Skyhawks celebrate a second national title in program history.
And the winner of the 2006 Harlan Hill Trophy as Division II College Football Player of the Year is Danny Woodhead from Chadron State.
ASU! 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 What do we got?
Hi, I'm Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Every day, I see the impact that MSU Denver has on our region. And education within reach can truly transform a life. Congratulations on 50 years of commitment to diversity and inclusion, and may you have many, many more.
Are you a college student that needs a place to live? Are you still living with your parents and want your own space? The Regency Student Housing is perfect for you. The community offers many amenities such as a fitness center, 2 basketball courts, big screen amphitheater, all-you-can-eat dining hall, bowling alley, arcade, free parking, and a shuttle to and from the Auraria campus. For more information, please call 303-477-1950 or visit our website at regencystudenthousing.com.
I'm Lexi Marr, senior defender for the Roadrunners women's soccer team.
These teams looking for offense, and there's Marr, the all-conference defender.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Anthony Grant, Director of Athletics at MSU Denver.
It's because of your generosity and support that our athletic programs have been able to achieve sustained success and continue to be one of the top athletic departments in the nation.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Thanks for sticking with us here on the Roadrunners Coach's Corner, still live from the Tivoli Tap House, which we are here every Monday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. Stephen Priest, Celeste, Zubia here with you. Final interview of the night. Now we're talking with shortstop senior from your baseball squad, Jake Thurstron. Jake, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us. Senior year here at MSU Denver. You played all your 4 years here in downtown Denver. How fast has it kind of gone for you?
It's went by so fast.
Yeah.
You come in as a freshman, it feels like it was yesterday. I mean, everything kind of just went smooth sailing ever since that first day I stepped in the door, and I can't believe it's finally my senior year. Kind of bittersweet moment. So
you're the local player coming from Centennial. Tell us why you decided to play close to home here at MSU Denver.
Probably the biggest reason was my family. My dad and my mom have really supported me really well throughout my whole baseball career, and I don't think they've ever missed a game, to be honest. So having them be able to watch me every time I play is something I will cherish for the rest of my life, and that's something I wanted to have happen when I came to college. And just kind of being this close and be able to go home when I want and see my family, because family is really important to me. So that was a huge moment in deciding why I chose Metro. So
now you've played with Coach Oates your entire career. He's been you haven't played with him, played under him, but talk about what he's meant for your career here at MSU Denver.
Oh, he's been huge. Coming in here, I mean, I've always had some pretty good baseball knowledge, but he dropped a lot of knowledge on me as a freshman and really helped me make that transition from being a high school player to a college player and understanding about the game, just how the game changes from being so much slower in high school to now it's so fast, but being able to still keep that slow pace as you play. And then also being a leader. I mean, I've always been more of the leader on my teams, but he's really helped me transition on the little aspects here and there of how I can make myself into a better leader. So I think that's the biggest one right there for me, is learning how to be a better leader, and I can translate that for the rest of my life.
So there's a few more weeks left until you guys kick off the season in February. Tell us, just a little bit about the team and kind of what conversations are being held to bring you guys success in 2017.
Probably the biggest thing is our chemistry. We really focus on chemistry. As a baseball team, you got to have it. I mean, there's not one guy in the field that'll make the difference. Everyone's got to be as one, and that's kind of our motto, I guess, is as one as a team. And we want to focus on our chemistry to be the best we can be, and kind of put all in all together and make sure that we come out with a victory every game. So.
Now, for those who don't know, you play the shortstop position, difficult position to play. Tell us why you chose that, and is there a pro ball player that you emulate your game after?
To start off with the second question, it'd probably be Dustin Pedroia, just for his size, and I'm kind of a smaller guy, and I always played second growing up. I kind of loved watching him play, and I kind of play with that fire and that passion that he has every day. So that'd be the reason why, or who I follow. But I would say probably when I started out when I was young, I always played second. Second base was my position, and then going into my senior year, we lost our shortstop. So my coach was like, okay, we're going to move you over to shortstop. And it was kind of a new thing for me. I think my first game I made like 6 errors, transitioning to shortstop from second, just because the throw is so much longer and the timing's so much different. And then kind of after that game, I kind of settled in and got more reps, and that's basically what drove me to be a shortstop, and I love it. I love being in charge of the infield. That's the position that takes charge, and I love having that control and knowing that I'm the guy that everyone kind of counts on up the middle to take control of the team out there.
So on your profile at roadrunnersathletics.com says you are a human performance and sports major. What do you hope to do with that after graduation?
I'm hoping I got to do an internship obviously this summer, and once I do that, I'm kind of going to find out, I guess, a better path of what I want to do. I want to stay in sports. Sports has been my life since I've been growing up, so I really want to focus on that aspect and stay in sports as long as I can and hopefully make a career out of it. So I haven't decided exactly what I want to do, but I know I want to stay in sports. So,
last question for you, Jake. Being a senior, what are you going to miss most, or what are some of your fondest memories playing at MSU Denver?
There's so many. Probably just the friendships in general and seeing the guys every day. That's such a big thing to me. You're not going to remember the wins, the losses, how you did each day, what your stats were, but you're going to remember the guys that were around you. And I really cherish all the guys that I grew up with, whether it was a senior when I was a freshman or a freshman now that I'm a senior, and obviously the guys I've stayed with all 4 years. So definitely the memories with them is going to stick with me forever, and I can't thank them enough for giving me a good college career. So,
well, thanks so much, man, for taking out the time, hanging out with us tonight. Best of luck to you and the squad. We can't wait to watch you guys this year.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, before we get out of here, we'll tell you what is coming up this week in Roadrunner Sports. The men's and women's basketball teams will play this Tuesday at 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. in Colorado Springs before finally coming home this Saturday to take on Westminster College. Those games will tip off at 5 and 7. All 4 of those games can be watched on Stretch Internet, so don't miss out on all the Roadrunner basketball action.
And our indoor track and field team will be back in Golden this weekend for the Colorado School of Mines D2 Invitational. Come on down and watch Sarah Hughes and Robert Carlson as they look to hit some provision times for the RMAC and NCAA championships later this season.
And make sure, as always, to keep up with everything MSU Denver sports related at roadrunnersathletics.com. Huge shout out to Coach Clark, Coach Oates, and Jake Thurstron for lending the time as always. Back this week, a little bit rusty, but I promise we'll be better next week. At least I will. But for Eric Lansing behind the camera, Celeste, Zubia for joining me, I'm Stephen Priest. We'll see you next Monday, same time, same place.
Radio on mymetmedia.com.